All right, NFL Week 2 is here. We have the odds, the numbers you need. Chad Millman from the Action Network set to break them down. He's the Chief Content Officer from the Action Network as he joins us every Friday. Now, there's a lot of interesting lines, a lot of movement, a lot of wild stuff from Week 1 to Week 2 where some of these things opened and where they are now. We'll get Chad's take on why things are moving. Like this one. Let's start it off. Chad Millman is back with us here on the Sports Bash Boardwalk Honda Hotline. Eagles open at 3.5. Cross the board. 1. What catches your eye with that?
Well, I will tell you, this is the buy low, sell high week in NFL betting. Like, no one looks as bad as they looked in Week 1. No one looks as good as they looked in Week 1. And this is a perfect example, right? Like the Rams, they go out and they beat up on the Cowboys in a primetime game, a game a lot of people thought the Cowboys were going to win. They were favored going in. The Eagles, everyone knows what happened there. They blow a 17-point lead. They can't score in the second half. Their offensive line is falling apart. I would love the Eagles in this spot if I know what's happening with Lane Johnson and Miles Sanders. Like, until I get a clear
both in. That's what we're hearing.
If that's the case, if that is true, is that an unofficial report, or is that like the rumor that's going around like South Jersey and Philly?
Well, Lane has said he is playing, and Miles Sanders said he is 100%. They have not sent out an official injury report, but that's from both of their lips.
If that's the case, I would be all in on the Eagles here. And I'll tell you, that is a great number. Like, I'm getting a team that won the division last year at home, a huge move, and you are getting it anywhere from, in some places where they are a dog by a point. In other places, they are a 1-point favorite. Either way, give me the Eagles as basically like to win the game at home against a Rams team that is probably overvalued, 100%.
One game that stands out to me is this Minnesota Vikings Colts matchup. It opened up at 2.5. Right now it's at 3. The Vikings are underdogs on the road, and I feel it did look ugly against Green Bay, but that line intrigues me for Minnesota.
I hate this game. I hate everything about this game. Like, this game repulses me. Like, I look at this game and I'm like, I can make the case that the Colts were great except for Phillip Rivers and have a much better offensive line against a Colts defense that looked a Vikings defense that looked really depleted and is probably going to take 3 or 4 weeks for Mike Zimmer to really figure out what he's going to do with that system with so many guys from last year being gone. 2, the Vikings lit up the Packers defense, and they can do the same to the Colts defense, averaging 8 yards per play last week. So to me, like, I'm getting like a stink on both these teams. So you don't have to bet every game. This is one I'm going to pass.
Chad Millman, Action Network. Okay, I got another one that's interesting. Opened at 11 at Action Network, where I'm looking at all of them. I mean, I see it at 8, 7, 7.5, depending on which place you like to go. Titans, Jags.
Look, I love the Titans. And the more that comes in on the Jags, the happier I'm going to be.
I mean, that's a 4-point swing. I mean, it went from 11 to 7 at BetMGM.
Gimme. Like, the longer this game, before this game kicks off, the better off we're all going to be as Titans bettors, because you're just going to keep getting the best of the number. That's the axiom, right? Get the best of the number. And like you mentioned, you're looking at action, and like if you're in Jersey, you can set your settings so you only get New Jersey lines, and you'll get the best of all the lines that are out there. And like the Titans at -7, look, they don't look that great on Monday Night Football. And the Jaguars beat a Colts team as they were 8-point underdogs at home. Now, I was on the Jags because we talked about this on the show, like how much I love the Jags. They were just in a really good spot and going against a quarterback who just wasn't very good last year and wasn't very good the first week. That never should have been an 8-point favorite on the road in a very stifling hot Jacksonville, Florida. So give me a Jacksonville team that is still depleted on defense, that is going against a really good Titans team. that is a little undervalued because they didn't look so great, I'm going to take the Titans as a touchdown.
You did take Jacksonville last week, I do recall. Chad Millman, Action Network. Another game where the line has moved pretty substantially. Dallas opened at -7. BetMGM -4 on that game. It's 5 at DraftKings and other places, but a 3-point shift for the Cowboys against Atlanta.
Yeah, again, give me the favorite here. I am not a buyer on Atlanta ever. I feel like they are the sugar rush, empty calories of the NFL. They're always the team that, like, they got 500 yards. You know, Calvin Ridley has 2 touchdowns. They're an amazing offensive juggernaut team. None of it means anything. They don't cover. They don't win. I think their coaches are terrible. They can't make adjustments. The reason why they're always racking up yards is because they're down by 3 touchdowns and they unleash. And Matt Ryan's an accurate passer, and they have good weapons on the outside. But you take that team into Dallas, even though Dallas has injuries both offensively and defensively, they're just a much better football team. Even with Mike McCarthy coaching, they're a better coached football team. And I've got a lot more faith in sort of their ability to control the ball with Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, and like what they are developing with CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper. Like, that's just a recipe for them to cover easily for me.
How do you feel about the Chiefs on the road? It opened at 6.5, favored by 6.5. Now it's at 8.5.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a pass for me at 8.5. Like, the Chiefs and the Ravens are the 2 teams where, you know, shame on you if you bet against them. They're a little bit like the Patriots for all those years when Brady was in his prime, right up until last year, midway through the season. Like, the number couldn't be high enough on the Patriots, and you'd feel terrible if you bet it, but you'd feel worse if you didn't bet it. And with the Ravens playing the way they're playing and the Chiefs playing the way they're playing, those numbers are always going to be big, but I'm not going to bet against them because they're so explosive. And especially in the case of the Chiefs, the defense is just getting better. And so they're going up against a team that I think is going to have a hard time sort of scoring any points, even against a defense like the Chiefs that started at mediocre and is improving. So I'm going to have to be on the Chiefs. I liked it at 6.5. If you're going to make me choose a side, I'd choose the Chiefs, but that number's getting a little bit too high.
All right, Chad Millman from the Action Network. Millman making us money here. Let's get something you took from week 1 that you're now going to utilize to make some money in week 2.
The Dolphins plus 5.5. So this was a game where the Dolphins didn't look great, but they were still in it at the end of the game. You know, Fitzmagic, they were on about the 5-yard line, end of the game. He threw an interception. I was just really impressed with how hard they played against the Patriots team that is still, despite that, you know, they're just more talented. And the Bills, look, they played amazingly well, but they played against the Jets. And the Jets are a terrible, terrible team. And there's an old axiom in sports betting. If you have a home underdog, which the Dolphins are at 5.5, and they are getting less than 25% of the bets, which they are, they're getting about 23% of the bets right now, you automatically take the home dog. It just shows you that the public mindset is all over the Bills, and that means that there's too much value on the Dolphins. The Bills are overrated in this particular point spread.
He's Chad Millman from the Action Network. You can check that out, actionnetwork.com, and you can see lines from all the different betting apps, and you can check out all the totals and lines for everything, by the way. You like the Lakers tonight?
You know what? I am going to root for the Nuggets. I think the Lakers obviously, they're the favorites, and they should be, and they're the better team. But I'm holding they're about 6.5-point favorites tonight, 7-point favorites. I am holding a Denver Nuggets to win the Western Conference at 12-1. So I'm looking for my gold.
All right. Chad Millman, Action Network, right here on the Sports Bash every Friday with a look at the odds for week 2 in the NFL. By the way, are you handling the phone with your busted thumb or busted pinky?
I put my AirPods in. Is it so pathetic? Did you see my friend Darren Ravel just tweet that out or something? It's so sad.
I did.
I broke my pinky playing basketball with my younger son earlier in the summer. I've been going to pinky rehab all summer. I didn't need surgery, but like I waited too long and the tendons in my pinky like shrunk up and I couldn't move it anymore. So the doctor's like, you got to go to rehab. And now my whole family makes fun of me for going to pinky rehab. And then 2 weeks ago, I'm playing football with my son, and I didn't catch the ball. It hit my thumb. I broke my thumb, and it was broken so badly I needed surgery and 3 pins.
Oh, wow.
So I had the surgery on Monday, and all I've been getting all week is grief from friends, colleagues, and family about I'm basically down to like half a hand at this point.
The AirPods came through for today's conversation. Chad Millman, enjoy the games, pal.
All right, thanks, guys. Take care.
All right, Chad Millman will be back next Friday right here from the Action Network.